bye week could not have come at a better time. I mean, even before all these catastrophic injury to Cliff, I remember thinking to myself, going like, okay, well, at least the team has after this game has a week off to get healthy before they face Illinois, a team that I still think they will beat by a couple touchdowns. Just to The reason I say that is Wisconsin, a team that, unlike Penn State, doesn't have any quarterbacks, as you and I know. They went into Champaign today and shut out the Illini 24-0, and Graham Mertz 10 of 19 for 100 yards and interception. So it's not like they didn't light it up a quarterback play. It was a running game. Ches Malusi and Brandon Allen is his name. Braylon Allen, sorry. Braylon Allen. Both went over 100 yards each and had a touchdown. So obviously having a run game for Wisconsin's case, that's one thing keeping their offense afloat. So we'll see. Obviously, I would doubt Cliff plays in that game unless he's really made significant progress. In the meantime, hopefully they can at least run the ball a little better on Illinois compared to Iowa. Maybe Roverson. We'll see. Maybe they have more designed runs for him, or just give him some. Just give him some easy pass plays that can build his confidence. But I think you mentioned in the Slack channel about Christian Veilleux and how much worse could he possibly have been. Now, of course, you and I aren't at the practices, so I'm sure the coaches see what these guys are doing each and every week. And I'm not sure Veilleux would have done significantly better at this point. But it will be interesting now. Cliff is out. He's going to be getting second team reps. Maybe he'll even be splitting first team reps with Taekwon this next week or two, at least until Cliff gets back to healthy. And hopefully, there was a rumor. I mean, it's unsubstantiated. There was some rumor about going around the press box about broken ribs, but nothing's been confirmed at this point. So hopefully it's not that bad, but we'll see. Broken ribs, I don't know, I guess is obviously anecdotal, but my dad, when he was a little younger, he played a lot of racquetball, and he told me when he one time he ran into a person he was playing against, and he ended up cracked a rib, and I think it lingered on for about close to a month, but he remembers it hurt to breathe, hurt when he laughed. I can't imagine how much pain Cliff must have been in if that was the case. I'm sure that medical staff has plenty of good drugs to inject him with to stave off the pain. So he looked rather calm and subdued on the sideline there. So they probably mellowed him up with something, perhaps.
And the thing is too, Cliff, for his shortcomings he has had at times during his Penn State career, as much as you and I both have been critical of him at times, no one has ever once questioned that kid's toughness. I have no doubt if he was not playing, especially in a game like this, a top 4 matchup, that he physically was not capable of playing. I think Sean Clifford's very much one of those guys where you've got to cut his leg off to keep him off the field, essentially. So I have zero doubts that whatever it was that happened, either he was in that much pain or the medical staff viewed it as being that dangerous to his long-term health for him to play, for him to be out there. Because, again, like I said, you and I have been critical of Cliff in the past, but there's no denying he's a tough son of a bitch. He's a kid who's going to go out there and he's going to give you 110% every rep, even if he's not 100% physically, because that's just the kind of player he is. But yeah, looking ahead to Illinois, I very much think that's going to be a kind of game. I would expect we don't see Sean Clifford. We probably don't see PJ Mustipher. John Lovett apparently was banged up today. Going to guess we don't see him. As long as you win that game, it could be freaking 3-0. You just win that damn game, you're going to take it right now. Because you have, when you're Penn State, when you're any team in the Big Ten East, but especially Penn State, because in the past, half decade or so, you have separated yourself, I feel, from the rest of the division as the second best program in the division behind the Buckeyes. Ohio State's your Super Bowl. You know, going back to 2016, every year since 2016, whoever has won between Penn State and Ohio State has gone on to win the Big Ten. It's the biggest regular season game of the year in the Big Ten every season. So you want to be as healthy as possible when you go to Columbus on Halloween weekend. So you could beat Illinois freaking 3. You could beat them 2-0 on a safety, and you're going to be happy. You just want to get guys healthy. And, you know, with defensive tackle, before we get too much further, I do want to mention one guy that I thought played a tremendous game this afternoon was Keziah Izzard, redshirt freshman defensive tackle. He's been playing more and more in recent weeks. Today had to play a ton because of Mustapher essentially missing the entire game. And I thought Izzard played a tremendous game. He comes from a great high school program at DeMatha Catholic in Maryland. He's a kid I know the Penn State staff's very high on. He's a kid I've always been very high on. I think he's got a super bright future at Penn State. And I feel like we started to see that today. I really thought that a lot among the kind of unsung heroes type of things that are going to go missed in a game like this because you're going to focus on the loss. You're going to focus on losing Sean Clifford, stuff like that. I feel like Izzard played a tremendous game. I think he's a kid who, had Penn State hung on and won, Izzard's a kid whose praises would really be getting sung afterwards. So I want to make sure he does not go unmentioned because I thought Keziah Izzard just played an absolutely tremendous game of defensive tackle for the Nittany Lions.